Oh, good morning, everyone, and welcome to Viva Cafe con Leche. Happy Thursday. We are late because the badass Buddha was in the wrong studio for the last 20 minutes, wondering where everybody else was, and I was in the wrong studio. So my bad. I apologize. I didn't even know you could actually be simultaneously in two different studios. That's so funny.
But I have a question. Did the top say scheduled with the countdown?
I wasn't really paying attention to that. I was putting in the, like her name and all that stuff. So I didn't even notice that piece of it.
Oh my God. And were you getting anxiety because I wasn't on yet and the show was almost about to start?
Well, I wasn't getting any anxiety because when I was late that other day, you just started. So I was like, all right, I'm not going to worry about it. Like good thing I didn't start that one. I was ready to just go ahead and start. I'm so glad you sent me a text message and you're like, hello. And I'm like, hello. It's like 8:02. It's 8:02. Like, that's it. Hello. And then you're like, wait, we're in the studio. I was like, I don't see you.
You know, but it's like what you always say. Here we are. I was talking to our guest today because she's in another part of Florida. She says it's not so bad over there, but the winds here, you hear the howling, the rain. So we'll see how the rest of the day goes. But you know what? Right now, right here, all we have right here, because it's a beautiful morning.
That's right. You have.
Come on, sing it, Milagro, canta conmigo.
You have.
It doesn't matter. I was up tossing and turning all night again, and my eczema is really bad. But you rise, you dress up, and you show up, and here we are with my Bustelo Cafe con Leche.
I didn't even get my coffee. Isn't that something? So I'll have to get my coffee.
Tell us.
I didn't realize that. I forgot that there's the storm coming to you. So is it over Florida right now?
See, what happens is whenever there's a storm like Fiona, they overdo it. It's all over the place. It's building anxiety and drum rolls everywhere. Like it's gonna hit, it's gonna hit. Everybody calls to see how you're doing. And then when it's like these little tropical storms that can turn into hurricanes, nobody calls. They're like, we're so over it. 3 weeks ago, we were worried. So it's like blind. Usually these are the ones that come and knock you on your knees. But we're hoping for a good ending to this.
Okay, well, great. All right.
Tiffany Bryan, good morning.
And Carmen, good morning, Carmen. Carmen in the
Carmencita-san?
Carmencita.
Oh
my God, Carmencita. I drank one time years ago when I was in high school something called Té Carmencita. And that is a laxative tea.
Oh, look at that, Carmen.
And man, did that sucker work. That was, it was like I took a firecracker or something and put it up there. It was just
when I think of Carmencita, I'm thinking of the Gran Combo. Carmencita, tú tienes un no sé qué. That's what I always call my baby Carmen. So good morning. Yes, that's all that we got going on here. It's still dark out. As you can see behind me, those are the sliding doors. It's still dark out.
Yes.
I know Carmen, right? You get her, but next time she's on your show, like match her name with something like that.
Nancy Green. We haven't seen Nancy in a while. Hi, Nancy. We're happy that
Nancy Green asked me the other day, how's the silver growing in? It's coming, Nancy. It's coming. It's longer in some parts. So I'm really loving it, even though the other day I got mistook for my coworker's mom. And I'm like, my coworker's younger than my daughter, so it's really not an insult. But you know what? I'm so in love with myself, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna let my gray hair grow in. And guess what happens? If I don't like it, I'll color. I'll add some touch to it. I like yours better, Margie. The song, right, Carmen? Because I'm always singing it to you.
So here we are. It's Thursday. We have a fabulous guest today. We're continuously talking about role models. I am the Badass Buddha, coming to you from Southern Connecticut. My actual name is Lori, but Badass Buddha works fine. And we're glad that you're here. And we just want to make sure that you are liking, sharing, following, subscribing, doing all that fun stuff. And my beautiful co-host,
Hola.
introduce yourself.
I am Margarita, la Margarita, your gladiator guru, on this Thursday morning, which we're in a tropical storm, but you know what? It's just feels so alive. The trees dancing makes me happy. What am I?
I don't know.
Lori Stump.
What are you? You're so many things. Don't leave it open like that. There going to be a lot of things to fill in there.
I love
Go
it.
ahead. You tell us what you are.
What are
You're a magician.
I'll tell you what I am. Yesterday,
I know you're a magician.
I'm a traveling magician.
Traveling magician.
Yes, I can write, paint, and talk shit anywhere in this world. So I could never be lopsided anywhere, because you know what? At the drop of a dime, I pop up like slut magic and I make it. I can sell lines of poetry for $2. So everywhere I go, I'm on it. But you know, yesterday I used our mantra at work. And some of them didn't understand the disruptor. How can disruptors be good? And I really didn't have the time to explain it. So let's do that, because that is so important for our show. And I try to explain it, but you know, not everywhere you go will you be understood. And I think that's the part of the gratitude month that we're doing, don't you think?
Yes, I do.
Not everywhere you stand do you have to be seen and understood, as long as you know what your purpose is, being in these places, carrying the kindness, and knowing that in what you're doing there, you're making a difference going forward.
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry, Carmen. It's been a very interesting week of a lot of stuff. So I apologize that I didn't call you back. I sometimes have to be reminded 2-3 times, so I apologize for that. And good morning, Diana Negron.
Diana. Carmen, that is so, you know what, let me tell you something. For those who don't know Carmen, Carmen's always busy. Carmen is that queen bee that everybody should have in their corner. That's beautiful, Carmen. That they loved it, that they acknowledged it. You signed it, right, Laura? So your autograph is on it?
Yes.
For as long as they pass it on and someone reads it and then says, oh, you need to read this book, let me lend it to you. And it passes through so many hands. And that's the whole purpose of everything. So that's beautiful. Oh, that touched me.
Sorry, Carmen. I really apologize for that. I've just been losing track of certain things because there's been a very interesting shift that has happened in the last 10 days for me.
No, but how beautiful is it for you to hear it on your show live?
That I didn't call her back?
No. The rest of it, remember, you got to take all the positives out of it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. I think that's fantastic. And I'm glad they love the concept.
What did Tata say? Tata, I tried to explain it, but morning, Margie and friends. Have a blessed day. Try to explain what, Tata, and good morning, buenos dias, namaste. Diana Negron. I just love the way she writes her name. Okay, let's do our mantra because today's guest impressed me when I met her. And I felt that her story needed, and I shared it with the badass Buddha, and she was emotional about it. And she's like, you know what? This is the whole part of what we're doing this month. And it's not spoken about enough. It's not shared enough. It's not placed under a beautiful natural light of how things tend to be, need to be, and with the help and support of everyone, can be very fruitful in many lives. So I know Lori is on. I share because I know you're having a hard time sharing the page because I can't. So I have to piggyback on you to put it on my regular Facebook page. Have you noticed that?
It's so confusing
It
now. I
is.
don't know why they do it this way. It's bizarre. Um,
Oh, Tata, look what Tata wrote. That thank you, Tata, for even sharing that. The things that you guys be talking about to people, and they look at me like I'm crazy about life, lifting others and stuff like that. Well, you know what, Tata? That means those are the people that you need to keep saying it to, even if it's one phrase, one word. It's in the way you change to look at life differently. That's how they go learning because there's three types of learners. Sometimes you find one person who learns them all, but there's people who learn by seeing, or people who learn by listening, or people who actually learn by doing it. So if
yes,
you do them all, if you speak on it, if you show it on your face every time you're smiling, if you're hugging people or you're uplifting or gifting, then you're doing it all. But I thank you. I thank you for listening and sharing that. That means a lot to us.
absolutely. And you're right. I wasn't trying to share before, but I'm trying to share. I don't know. They must have got complaints because it's a little bit easier than it was. Because for a bit it was like you had to press this, then press that, then press this, and I don't know why they do that. I don't know why they upgrade and they keep. I get that they want to keep things fresh, but woo, don't make it so damn difficult for everybody. I liked when they used to just do the posting party. Remember that?
I know,
They got
but
rid of that.
Danessa. Okay, so the hope. Yes, what happened to those star parties? You know,
No, the stars they still do. It's that it originally used to do a like a not a posting party. It was you would share it and then it would immediately pop up on your feed like one button to say that you're watching this right now.
oh yes,
And they got rid of that thing.
I
So
don't. Yeah,
um all right, our mantra. Our mantra. Okay. Here we go. Say it loud, say proud. Oh, we'll set our intention right after. That's okay. We could do that. All right. So our mantra, here we go. I am a disruptor.
I am a disruptor.
I am unapologetically courageous.
I am unapologetically courageous.
I am spiritually grounded.
I am spiritually grounded.
I am magically orgasmic.
Ole,
And I am beyond authentic.
and I keep it real.
Yay! Big stretch. Woo! Shout it out. Okay. Set our intention nice and simple, and we'll get our fabulous guest on. Today, your intention is to be intentional.
And grateful.
Whatever your intention is, you decide. Set it, live it. You could change it if you need to during the day, but you want to shift your energy, you definitely have to focus on
Gratitude.
why Gladiator Guru. Why is gratitude so important?
Because you
What
know
does it
what?
do?
If you decide in the morning to get up and say, I am grateful for this day, whether you're in pain, whether you were sick the night before, whether you got no sleep, you're saying, I am grateful. You are giving thanks to your higher power, to God. You're gracing Him with your presence. You're giving gratitude to the universe. You rise on that day, and guess what? Things will go wrong because life isn't set up to be the yellow brick road. You're going to have bumps, but you're going to be able to handle them better because when you say, today I'm going to be intentionally grateful, your mind is already set on seeing the good, seeing the sunrise. And so no matter what you go through that day, you're going to smile. Says, I'm grateful. and you
That's
can
right.
get through it. Your temper won't rise. You're not going to be triggered, which is such an overused word in this sensitive society. And you're going to be like, you know what? It is what it is. And you're going to keep going on your way doing what the hell you got to do. That's having gratitude for living in this extra day, the gift that we have of today, and just going forward. Shit's gonna go wrong. So if you're gonna break down every time something goes wrong, then you might as well stay your ass in bed. That's just the reality of life. If everything was to go your way, then where are your challenges in life? How are you going to challenge yourself to be better the next day? To want to be better towards other people? No. You know, the cure for the pain is in the pain, and that's how you learn how to appreciate and be grateful for the things that do come. And with that, you
And
can
with that, please also remember that November is
month.
the month of it's National Gratitude Month, and it is National Inspirational Role Models Month, which we're doing both. So please do not forget our challenge. We gave you the Viva 30-day gratitude challenge. You should be doing this every day. I'm shitting on you. And it is write 5 things down that you are grateful for. Pick 3 people that you are grateful for and tell them, whether you tell them in person, on the phone, through text message,
Write a
email
letter.
message, or that. And then do at least one act of kindness. It could be to somebody you know, somebody you don't know. But that's the 30-day challenge. So we are on day 10 of the 30-day challenge. All right. So
Yes,
please don't
and
forget
do it.
to
November is such a wonderful month. It is the month of my birth, of my existence. I tend to share it all month, but like the moon the other night and several moons
Oh, the moon.
prior this year, it's taken a lot of twists and turns. And if you notice, you've been either busier or dealing with the challenge that you haven't given up because you can see the goal at the end of the tunnel. I think we're all pretty much in that loop. Is nothing negative. It's just the closer you get, it seems to move back a week. So you're working harder and learning about yourself and about how your strength is. And you go the extra week and then something else happens. But it's never, I don't know, badass. But I think that so far, the challenge is the what we've put ourselves in to know that we want better, the changes we want to make. It seems to always be like a couple days out of reach, and then you get there, and then it's like you're illuminated with something else, right? So it's not a negative challenge. I just think it's like we're learning so much about ourselves in this busyness that we've all been in lately. Do you understand what I'm
I
saying?
do.
And
Yeah.
then you're like, shit, why didn't I see this coming? But then you learn something right after you say that. So please don't give up. Whoever's going through something right now, don't give up, because the Badass Buddha and I have been talking, and we have been dealing with certain kinds of stuff with new projects on the line. And it seems like we're not getting to it, but we are. So don't give up. Okay. With
Change
that,
pivot
change,
is
pivot,
inevitable for
remember.
me, and it's so scary. Yes, it is so scary, but until you walk through that, and then all of a sudden it's not so scary anymore. That's the beauty of it. But yeah, that's the hardest part is actually walking through that doorway and moving into that next section. So thank you for sharing that, Carmen. All right. So we're going to have our fabulous guest come on. So our guest is Danessa Pacheco. She is the proud owner of Level Up Candle in Orlando, Florida. Her short-term goal with Level Up Candles is to help come up with the money to pay for infertility treatments such as IVF, and help spread awareness of a topic that she knew nothing about until being put in the situation. Her long-term goal is to be able to sponsor other women in the future to pay for infertility treatments. So what makes Danessa a role model is the fact that she had a challenge in her life. She decided that there was something specific that she wanted in her life. The challenge was there, and not only was it a challenge to do it the traditional way, but there was the challenge of doing it a different way and coming up with the money to finance it. And then thinking beyond that to say, what about all the other women that go through this? and she created she created her path to help her and other women, and that's what makes her a role model. And the beauty is that this is sort of the beginning of it. It's like, some people are already well established and you're like, oh, they seem so untouchable and high, but Margie was so impressed by this phenomenal young lady that she wanted to have her on because she felt that she was a very strong role model, and you will too. So let's bring Danessa. There she is.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Danessa. How are you?
I'm doing good. How's everyone doing?
We're good. We're good. All
Good
right. So
morning.
tell everybody your stories. Tell everybody how you got to where you are and what you're doing.
So I wanted to kind of give a little backstory with my candle business. So my candles kind of just started as a way for an extra income, and honestly, out of pure bornness, I was bored and decided to make candles, and turned out I was actually pretty good at making them. And so I had friends who reached out and started purchasing some of my candles. Um, Fast forward 2 years later, because I've been making candles already for 2 years. So fast forward 2 years later, um, I have found myself in a predicament with needing to pay for IVF. So we started with paying for IUIs and paying for infertility treatments and paying for medications and doctor's fees and all of that stuff. And I turned my candle business into like something to help me pay for this. So all of the profits from my candles go straight to paying for IVF. We have funding that we have created so that we can save the money for it. Um, and then my long-term goal with this is that once I'm able to like help myself, my goal, I'm hoping that by this time next year, I am making money to be able to sponsor somebody else. And that's where my long-term goal is that I can help myself, but I also want to help other women be able to pay for these treatments. And the reason for it is that people don't realize how expensive infertility treatments are.
Yep.
And I don't think people realize that health insurances don't pay for it. It is very rare for you to find a health insurance that pays for it or an employer who provides that insurance. So we have been going back and forth, and I can tell you roughly what an IUI will cost is about $3,000, and that's not including doctor fees or lab works or medication, um, going back and forth. So we've already invested almost a good $10,000 into 2 IUIs, medications, doctor fees, labs, all that stuff, and then we got a bill for IVF, which was just like the basic of IVF, which costs about $14,000. That does not include any medication. It does not include to pay the anesthesiologist. It does not include any extra visits you might have to do. And if you have a IVF and you have to do a second transfer, it does not include that second transfer. You have to fork up an additional almost $4,000 to $5,000 for that as well. So when you tally it up, you're looking at about $21,000, give or take, for IVF. And that's if you have a smooth sailing, because if there's other women who might need extra support, you're looking at adding extra fees and medications and extra doctor visits and all of that wonderful stuff. So it was definitely something I was not made aware of until I was put into the situation. And I also didn't realize how many women suffer from infertility across the board. And it wasn't until I started talking about it with my friends that I didn't realize a lot of my friends were going through the same thing.
Wow.
But it's just not talked about at all. And then, as I continue to do research, I've actually learned that 1 in every 8 couple suffer from infertility treatments. They cannot get pregnant naturally. And then I learned another statistic that if you were in a room full of 16 people who are infertile for any reason, 6 of those 16 couples make the choice not to proceed forward because of financial burdens. And that to me is very sad, because we live in a time where we have the resources to help, but it's just not there. And it's a very lonely experience when you're going through it,
Right.
because you don't feel like people understand you. I can tell you personally, I have stopped talking to certain friends, um, just because I feel like they didn't understand where I was coming from, and it was just more of an annoyance. And I'm like, I'm not trying to annoy you, but this is where I'm at emotionally, mentally, financially. We've had to make decisions that, make decisions, and hey, we're not going to go to the fancy dinner with you guys today because we don't want to spend that extra $200. We would prefer to put it somewhere else. Um, Kind of situation. And I mean, it's just a topic that's just not talked about at all. Like, I didn't even know what PCOS was until I was diagnosed with it, and then I'm like, oh, so what is this? And they were like, oh, it's just a condition. You're going to get birth control. You'll get pregnant. And it's nothing like that. There is so much hidden behind it, and people just don't talk about it. And I think more awareness needs to be brought to this forward. And I honestly am hoping and praying that somewhere along the line, this becomes mandatory on insurances across the board.
Now, I wanted to ask, I know you said a lot of people, 6 and 16 couples, and then they can't afford it. But have you come across women who are doing it but don't say nothing, don't garner the support from others, or want to do it but won't say nothing because they don't want nobody to know, like the shame? Have you come across anybody who's ashamed to say they're on IVF or they need help with their...
I can say yes. I belong to a support group where it's just women who talk about their infertility and stuff. And a lot of women, especially people in the Spanish community, do feel that shame because we are what you call fertile. They're like, oh, you look at you and you get pregnant. It's such a stereotypical. And when they find themselves not being able to get pregnant, like, they're very ashamed of it. And then trying to find, the method to get pregnant, and families not understanding. So I don't think it's more about shame. I think it's just more about not wanting to, like, continue to explain yourself or not being understood. Because I mean, I know for me personally, like, I'm not ashamed of it, but I don't talk about it with certain people, because then the question of, well, are you praying every night for it? And then so now you're sitting there like, am I questioning my faith? Like, are you questioning my faith? Or have you tried this? Or let me give you a suggestion for this. And have you tried drinking these teas? And have you tried this? And it's like, how about you ask me what I've tried and do some research and then come to me with a more productive answer? And I think that is what I find across the board with people. It's not more about the shame. It's more of like the misunderstanding of it, and people not understanding where you're coming from or understanding the process of it, and just thinking that it's better to voice sometimes opinions without knowledge behind it.
Well, we all know that everybody has opinions like other things. And Diana says, people always said that to me and yet didn't know the true story. Would you like to... Oh, privacy. And good morning, Argenis. Argenis, Danessa, is my son-in-law. My daughter Tiffany that bought several candles from you. Yeah, that's his wife. So good morning, Argenis. Diana, what did people always said to you? Because that'll be interesting to see. Yeah, discernment, Danessa. Like, when you grow up on survival skills, oh, comments on being fertile. Yeah, and exactly, Danessa, thank you for bringing that up, because Diana, because we're Latinas, they do. Mm-hmm. Look at me and I get pregnant. Yeah, I'm always telling people I had 2 kids by the age of 21, and it's like, yeah, but doesn't mean, and they like to say that, and they specifically say that on certain Latino cultures as well, but we're human, and not everybody gets dealt the same thing, so sometimes things happen for people because they need to be the trailblazers or the trendsetters on something in that culture. And Danessa, you probably have a big responsibility for the women of your culture right now. With your candle business, you're probably, setting that path for the other Latinas to say, okay, let's do this. I don't know how many Latinas are in your support group, but just the fact, and I was telling the badass, the fact that you sell your candles and you so candidly open, speak on why you have the candle business. And that touched me because I think it's a beautiful thing when you become so intentional with the mission that is powerful. And by the way, people, Tiffany bought candles and gave me one. I think it's the pumpkin coconut or
I think she got the pumpkin cappuccino.
yes. And let me tell you, I lit that in my room and it wavered throughout the house. I have a small house, but it wavered throughout the house. And I was like, wow, it's really good. And I'm very picky on candles because what they use. So yours was good. So you have a web page?
I do. I have a web page. I sell candles through Etsy. I also do direct sales because unfortunately on Etsy I do have to upprice a little bit just because of the fees that Etsy does charge. So I do lose a lot of profit that way. But I do direct sales if people go directly to my page on Facebook or Instagram and say, "Hey, I'm interested. Let me get like what candles you have available right now," and I'll send them a list, and then they can just let me know. And 90% of the time we cover a good portion of the shipping fee. We charge about $7 for shipping fee, and then anything over that we cover.
Look at that. So I would say get it. Diana wrote, yes, her comment. My comment was referencing that some people don't respect our privacy or decision of when to begin the process of starting a family. And let me tell you, Diana, meet Danessa. Diana is the founder of Journal of Hope, and she Lori is very familiar with it, and she started this thing with journals for children to begin journaling.
Mm-hmm.
And Diana, I don't want to not say it correctly, but the part that she's Boricua and she's a mom, obviously, as people like to say, she's very fertile. And she's very dedicated, and she comes from a place where it wasn't silver spoons and gardens of roses, but she paved her way. And here she is. She has a board of directors for her business, and their Journal of Hope is to provide children with journals so they can write their dreams, so they can rip out the pain and write it on pages and then burn them away. And it's just a beautiful thing. So whenever I see Latinas on it, and Amy, and what you said about when you set your business up so you can sponsor a family to get the IVF, and then by you doing that, someone else can sponsor another one, and it goes on and on to breed life.
Yes.
And that's beauty. And what Diana does is at a young age, she's providing these journals so that they can transfer, whether it be that joy or that sorrow or that confusion onto paper, and then and remove it from them and put it out there. I think that is such a step forward, and I'm gonna go out there and say it's such a step forward when Latinas had such great ideas and great, just open paths, open roads for the rest to follow. It just makes me feel very proud to be the Latina that I am, and to share amongst other Latinas that are doing things not only for themselves, but they're being so intentional with themselves and filling themselves with gratitude and the self-belief that they were born for a purpose, and they open it up for the others to follow, no matter what race or religion, creed you are, but just to follow so that you can grow into who you are and live the life that's going to bring joy, and then you share that joy. That's what life is all about.
Yes. I did want to add that as I've been pushing my business more and more out there, I've had to learn to take negative comments and negative criticism and put it to the side and think that I have a larger goal in mind to kind of pay mind to that petty, that I feel, I like saying it, that pettiness behind the board, behind the computer machine. because I have come across with a lot of people, what I shouldn't say a lot, a couple of people commenting like, oh, just bring it down, nobody cares, or that negative feedback. And I know that in the past I would let that kind of get to me, but then I remember, like, you know what, I'm doing this for me, I'm doing this for my family, I'm doing it for somebody else in the future, and I just keep pushing forward. So I think it's very important, especially when you're going through anything infertility. Sometimes, like I said, people don't understand, and so they just automatically want to shut you down, and you're not able to speak up about it, which is why I've joined a lot of support groups, and I'm very grateful because one of my sisters are very supportive on that. And I also wanted to point out that the reason for me wanting to be able to sponsor women is because in the journey of me looking for how to pay for IVF, I have come across, probably I can count 10 grants for women across the United States, 10. And a lot of these grants can only give one grant per person a year because IVF is so expensive. And a lot of them have very high standards to get into them. So I want something that's just judgment free. And you need the help. Hey, let me know what you need, and then we can see if we can help. And so that's where my goal is at the end, is to just do this judgment free to whoever needs the help. Because I have, like I said, I've come across so many grants, those about, I shouldn't say so many, because about 10, and just the requirements to get in, to apply for the grants, are just really outrageous. And like I said, there's only one. And if you think about it, there's millions of women out there looking for grants to be able to pay for this, especially women in low income communities. So if you think about it, only the people with the money, who have the money, who can afford to pay for this, don't have a problem with it. And they're like, yeah, it's gravy, don't worry about it. But then you have someone middle class or a lower income family, and if there's no grants out there and there's no help, then they have to accept life and put that dream of being a mother or having that family on hold and not proceed forward. And I come across that a lot. So that's why, like I said, I want to create something later on down the line that is just judgment free. And even if we can't pay for the whole thing, if we can pay for a couple of medications here and one doctor's visits there, I think that's where we're going.
You say you want to start that later on down the road. I believe you've already started it. Just by putting that one foot in and speaking out of what you see going forward. That's the beginning of anything, correct, badass? Diana says that, Danessa, we are called to serve and be role models. And then she writes that, yes, always know your why, because people will attempt to sabotage because they've never stepped out of their comfort zone. And you know what? Correct. Now, remember, you don't have to explain yourself to people, but that right now, the facts you gave about those grants are made difficult. And the grants for Latinas are always well hidden. But there are so many that unless you look, you will not seek. And no one's going to tell you it's there. The government people are not going to tell you it's there. So keep searching keywords or do whatever. Because see, that's why the badass Buddha is so important here, because she acknowledges everybody who comes on. I'd be like, hey, that's how we make a good combination. But yeah, you've already begun this journey. You're already helping people by speaking out on it. You're not giving empty promises, because I believe when you just said that, Diana, let me know if you agree, that when you said this is what you want to do and you want to be able to support as you go along, for everyone you support, you partner up with somebody who will support someone else, and vice versa, because this is a great thing to do. I think anything set in place from the heart will always find a way. It will always find a way. So my age group, Badass Buddha's age group, we had to trip over our own feet, and we had to come into ourselves a little later than normal, because we didn't have what's in place now, but we're here now, and that's why we have this platform, is to bring people on such as yourself so that it can be shared and it can be heard, and then you can get support. So, do we have a banner for her? Yes, she's communication. Exactly.
Let me see. You did when I was looking at.
And if you got to shrink it to the other black one, so
I didn't see. What's the best way for people to connect with you? You didn't put any social.
I never knew there was fungus for IVF.
Fun.
Oh. You scared me, Diana. You know, but that's what I'm saying. And that's Danessa, you're teaching us now, even though Badass Buddha and I are out of the market now. It's good to know, because you know what is it? Learn one, teach one. What is that one? Teach one. Oh my God, come on. What's that hashtag? Diana, if you know it. And that's what it is. We learn it today, and then we pay it forward. Oh, good morning, sister. And Danessa, you connected with us on social media, correct? With Lori, Monaco, Viva, and myself? With all three of us? Was that my internet going with the wind?
No, it's hers. It's hers. Hers keeps freezing.
Yeah, as long as we can, and then we'll keep sharing. I want to make an announcement with Diane, but I go on. Are you on, Danessa?
She's like frozen now. Oh, here we go.
Yeah, I'm here.
Danessa,
I'm here.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Your video keeps like freezing, but if you can hear us, and
yeah, the winds are picking up on this side over here.
Yes, so it is over here too. That's why I thought it was me. Badass, can you put up the Journal of Hope information there? Because Diana's been very active here, and I was sharing it with Danessa, and I think that there's a purpose for these journals for you and Diana. So
can also Danessa, if you look, it says private chat. If you could put your any ways for people to contact you, just put them in there, and then we'll post them up, because I didn't see any in the email that you had sent.
Okay.
So just put them in the private chat, and I'll copy.
Yeah, and then we'll put it up before the show ends, so everybody could know how to reach your candles and all of that. And my sister's on. I get so
I'll put in my link. I'll put in my link tree. That's gonna give you everything on one place.
Perfect.
All right, and I will put Journal of Hope's info.
Great morning, Lillian Maldonado. Yeah, I think the Journal of Hope is something. For some reason, it keeps coming up, and then I would like the Badass Story 3 to be announced.
So Journal of Hope is a nonprofit organization. Diana Negron is the founder of it. I am one of the board members, proudly. And check it out. We're always looking for donations, but it's all about teaching children the joys of journaling and the necessity. And that was, and these are all built by role models. Like, Diana's a role model for what she's done. She saw a need. She started to create things to fill that need. And that's how role models are built. Role models are forever looking to better themselves and their community. And that's why they're role models, because people will look at them and be inspired by them. So for individuals who are challenged by IVF, infertility, and they're challenged by the process of IVF, and they're getting very frustrated, especially coming from middle and lower socioeconomic levels, these individuals. So Danessa's putting together, or has put together already, information that can help guide them, and she still continues to build upon that. So let me post Danessa's info as well. Oh, good. She's got a lovely link tree. Fabulous. Linktree's the bomb, man. You could just get everything in there. All right, hold on. All right. So if you need any more information on or to contact, let's do it this way. Contact, because we're limited to what we can put on here sometimes. Danessa at All right. And good morning, Janet. Janet's in the house. I think you're muted, Margie. You're
I'm talking away and I'm muted. I said, good morning, my sister Janet. I got my sister Connie. Got my son-in-law Lillian. I'm just like, I'm feeling the love. You know, that's what life is all about. It's just feeling the love.
Hold on. Let me get my stuff in place here. So we have a clickable link for Danessa. So you can just click on that link and you can get to her, to all her information. There's a clickable link for Journal of Hope. I'm also going to put the banner in for Danessa as well. All right.
And again, her candles, I would not be saying it. Anybody who knows me knows I am so picky with candles that I make my own wax melts because the poisons that some candles put out into the ear, you know, certain kind of wax you got to use and all that. So I always order mine and I make my own candle wax. With smell with my lemongrass, my organic lemongrass, but I don't know how to make candles. So I'm so happy that Danessa's, and it's thank you for that. So look into her site, purchase some of her candles. Thanksgiving is coming, Christmas is coming, and these are a great source of where to order from because her packaging is something I love too because it's matter of fact to me. It's not all these glorified stuff all over the place. It's just, this is my candle, toma. And that's what I love about it. So holidays are coming. And yeah, look at my sister. Yeah, I need some, sister. We'll go on her page right here, Gianni. It's awesome. And let's support one another. That's what us women need to do. You know, we're the superheroines of the world. We're trendsetters. We're the most important species on earth. We're the breeders of life or the awesome aunties. So let's help these women become breeders of life. Order some candles.
Margie, I think you would appreciate that the candles are all made with soy wax. So there's no artificial wax or anything in them. And the oils that I purchase are actually purchased through a local women-owned business in Texas. So it's a group of girls and they have their own natural oils. And so that is what I use. I didn't go with like a big company to order oils from. I chose somebody who was local. Well, not local to me, but it's a little place in Texas. And I chose them because, I mean, it was an all women group. And part of their group is that they want to empower more women. So they don't want to hire any men in their company. And I thought that was awesome. So that's why I chose them.
That is awesome. You need to share that information as well because you know what? That's awesome. Right there's a selling point for you as well when you say that. That was beautiful right there.
Yeah, that actually could be something to put on when you create if you have a website or you don't have one yet.
Don't have one yet. I'm working on it because I want to add the IVF stuff right onto there so people can find resources, links right from the webpage.
Well, yeah, we don't have a marketing person. A Fer that was there with the 360 camera. Mm-hmm. She's a wonderful marketing video. She did my webpage.
Okay.
So. Once you put your webpage together, then that when you talk about your candles, you can make sure that you do write that this is a woman, a women-owned business that you get the essential oils from, because it is very supportive, especially the fact that you are you're focused on women and fertility, and then to further instill it by working with women-owned businesses, and even more so if you have any of your other people that are out there, minority-owned businesses too, which is also really important, and talking about the fact that the underserved population that are infertile and struggling because they cannot afford these treatments and not even sometimes even given the option because it's assumed they quote can't afford it. So they don't even tell them about it. They don't even give them the education on it, which I'm a big education person. It has always pissed me off that the lower the socioeconomic level, the less they feel the need to educate anybody because they write them off. And I can't stand that. I think everybody is brilliant. Everybody's brilliant in their own way. You give people information and you allow them to make a choice. You don't assume that they cannot handle the information.
Well, exactly. Look at Diana when she wrote that she didn't even know there was funds for that. There's so many of us women that can be such a powerful entity towards this are unaware of it. So you coming on today have awakened some interest in many people. So when you do your webpage, do exactly what the badass Buddha suggested, because it is to draw more women to this cause for women.
Yeah.
We outnumber the male species, so we should band together, whether like Diana says, whether we're fertile or not, we're still women helping other women. And we need to be reminded of that. We need to be reminded that we belong on the same side of that rope in this game of tug of war called life. We're on that same side. We're all pulling together. So I think use all your resources.
Yep.
To awaken the masses of people who are and really have a lot of pull behind them that can benefit each and every one of us in our fight.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, so do you have anything coming up? Like what is your time from somebody ordering candles to how quickly you get them out and shipped out to people?
So our turnaround time is actually pretty quickly because I don't post anything online that is not already made. So everything that is online is already made. So once you place the order, if I'm not home, it'll take me a couple hours. But once I get home, I'll just go ahead and box them up and send them out. Each one of the candles also come with a keychain on the side when you order from the website. Or when you order from me directly, you'll get a keychain, and it's actually a key. That's a keychain. That's a bottle opener. And the reason for it is because I want everybody to understand that you are a key into helping somebody else. So that is the reason for the key. And it was a bottle opener because, who doesn't like to have a bottle every once in a while and you have a fancy little key to pop it open. So we went with that for the key. I do a lot of, I am getting into pop-up shops into the local area and kind of getting out there locally. So I do have one coming up this Sunday here in Orlando. So those are right now what we have going on, and then just continuing to push online and reminding people that I'm here and we still have candles. And we have very unique candles. Like I know right now I have one that is a cranberry kettle corn, and it sounds weird to people, but for some reason it's actually one of the ones that I sold out the most, and I never thought that it was going to be that way for the holidays last year. And it was very requested this year, so we brought it back. And then I'm Puerto Rican, so I have a coquito candle that I cannot keep on the shelf for the life of me. And then my pumpkin spice cappuccino goes very quickly.
Yeah, I have that one.
Yeah. So we have a couple of unique candles, and then we have some more traditional ones as well.
See that? Look at Diana can't wait to see the pictures of your vending event on Instagram. So you already have a fan. You have fans. So listen, here, understand something, everybody, right? We are coming into the holidays. Something that we really, really need to consider, and we do mention this. We've mentioned this for the whole time that we've ever had Viva, but we always have to be reminded, it is small businesses are necessary. We cannot just constantly go to these big places, and so order from Danessa. You're helping something bigger, but you're also getting really great candles. So start today, like click on that, start shopping in your head. Who can I get this for? Order now, start creating all that, and then start getting your gifts early. And it's the same thing even with Journal of Hope. like Journal of Hope, there's multiple ways that you can help out with that organization. You can donate. Sometimes donations are something that's beautiful around the holidays. Sometimes you can actually purchase journals in which you would donate, or you could purchase journals for people that you know. But start thinking that along those lines, because before we know it, 2 more weeks, we have Thanksgiving in the States. And that means that after that, we have 4 more weeks before we have the Christmas holidays. So start thinking, how can I buy something of value to somebody that I love, something that's beautiful, something that's healthy, but also, does it have something behind it? Is it supporting something? Because then it's like a double whammy. You're not just buying something for somebody to say, I love you. This is, and I want you to have this, and it's natural and it's beautiful. But you're also saying, and also by purchasing this is what it supported. And they get to see that too, to know that because they received that gift, they are a part of that organization. And perhaps maybe they will in turn purchase, pay it forward kind of deal. I bought you this. Maybe in the future, you can buy this for somebody else that you love and care about. And that's the way we perpetuate that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And let me add to that, shopping small business, because I always tell my friends this. I'm like, I understand that we are looking for the deals and we are looking to save money, which is why we purchase from big corporations and stuff. But I always say this, we always have secret Santas. So if you can't afford to buy from a small business for other people, use it for your secret Santa, because that one gift, even if it's from a small business, whether it's mine or somebody else's, makes a difference. And if you, like I said, we do Secret Santa in my family. I do Secret Santa at work. So you're always involved in some kind of Secret Santa. Give it to your Secret Santa.
Give the gift to yourself if you want to.
Yeah, treat your damn self.
I always love that. You wrap it up, and then at the tree, you open it.
You're like, oh, I got a gift.
Who's this from? Oh, it's from me, and I love it.
Surprise yourself. Because in surprising yourself and gifting yourself, you're gifting to the creator of it. And you know that the Badass Buddha and I are all about that. You know that we are authors. I'm an artist. I paint. I sell my purses. We're all having something to offer. And it may not be for everybody, but it is for those that love it. People love candles. Now, Danessa, I'm going to have to order candles from you because my little sister, her birthday's coming up, and then it's Christmas. And she loves candles. Maron, she drives me crazy with her candles. So, so I already know who would love a candle from that. So let's just make it happen. And normally on Viva Cafe con Leche, we do have that shop small business for the holidays where we have 15 minutes. We're small. Look at her. She's still on. Yes, I do. Yay.
The small business
where we have like each person who has a small business have a 10 to 15 minute shot on Tuesdays and Thursdays. They have a shout out of their business. So we do that in December. So, I mean, we at Viva Cafe con Leche, we always are very inclusive on women business owners that come on during the holidays and give a shout out of their business because we believe in that. That is what we are.
Yep. All right.
So I just make sure you have, if everybody go to Danessa Pacheco on Instagram, look her up. That's her link tree. That is your homework for today.
And we're grateful that you came today. We're honored that you were here and sharing your story.
Thank you for your time.
And you are a role model. And
well, thank you. I'm honored to be here today. So,
yay, great. Well, and maybe in the future, you can be in the book series too. So we'll do a quick one on that one as well before we go. So everyone knows that we released her Badass Story 2 back in August. And we are now looking for authors for her Badass Story Volume 3, which will be, it's set to be released February 27th, 2023. I'm going to put a link in there. And if it is the right thing for you, then set up a time to have a chat. If it's not the right thing for you to do, but you know somebody who might be interested, forward them that link. We would appreciate it. Let me just put become a badass author. All right.
You get to share your story in a chapter in a book with other women, and it goes into print. And you know what? That book will be around much longer than you will. So sometimes an investment into putting your story out there and being a part of a collective of women who are sharing their stories, I just think it's a very beautiful thing. And then to know that her badass story, it's Badass Story 3, it's the third edition
Yeah.
of it. It's a trilogy. Who doesn't want to be a part of a trilogy? So, for those out there listening, for you, Danessa, look it up, take a moment. Everybody has a story to tell that will empower
Other
and
women.
will motivate someone else to rise up out of whatever they're sitting in and be the person they were born to be. And that's what the Badass Buddha set out to do with her badass story, is to remind women, why are you in the back of the room? Nobody puts baby in the corner. Get your ass up here and dance on stage. And that's how life should be for us. Be right in the center, dancing that salsa. Danessa, you know me, I'll roll up with my song and I'll dance a whole salsa song by myself in front of a whole room full of people.
Fantastic.
So for those thinking about it, think about it. Go visit Danessa Pacheco at Linktree. Those who want to be an author and write a chapter, visit drlorimonaco.com. And for those who just want to tell me how beautiful I am, you know where to find me. That's just how life is.
And with that, thank you so much, Danessa, for being here as part of our celebration of Inspirational Role Models Month. You are definitely a role model. We are definitely going to push your web, your site, your link tree, so that you can sell candles. We want you to also reach out to us so that we could spotlight you and put you on the Small Business Brag, which is going to be starting soon, which you will get.
Okay.
It will specifically focus on that, where you will get a few minutes to be able to show people what it is that you're selling and how they can order. Okay. So let's see if we can get you so busy that you're going to need to get other people and say whatever you need to say to all your family and friends, and make an assembly line of boxes. Okay. And we want you to get to that freaked out point where you're like, oh my God, I have all these orders,
I'm
but
so overwhelmed.
So fantastic. So
yes.
All right. So we'll see what we could do. We'll set you up with a date. We just need to figure out when we're exactly the day that we're starting and put you in.
Okay.
All right. Danessa, thank you so much for being here. And thanks everybody for being here. Gladiator Guru, any last words before we go? Okay. All right. Thanks everybody. And have a fabulous weekend. Enjoy, be safe, practice your gratitude, do your 30-day gratitude challenge. And we will see you next week. So from the Badass Buddha, remember, be you, be real, and be extraordinary.
And from the Gladiator Guru, mi gente, remember, breathe in the beauty and breathe out the bullshit. Namaste.
Namaste.